class, Monday class history. Police officer coming here. We're going to go into the history of our black leaders. We're going to first start off with, because we first going to start off with Booker T. Washington, Martin Luther King, and other leaders that led black people astray and down the wrong path. And basically, just over and over, we have black leaders who just try to keep black people submissive to white people, or just to be a servant, basically. And it basically just shows us that we'll be nothing, and it keeps in our mind that we'll be nothing but a servant. That we can't have our own nation or our own army, or be our own people. It's ridiculous, man. Give me first, and nobody really goes to the Bible. We're gonna give me Jeremiah 14:2. Let's read about this. This is our issue. Just like today, you got a lot of celebrities talking about. We got a lot of celebrities talking about black people. About black people, like they basically with the protests and all the black people getting killed in the streets. The best solution that black leaders are coming up with is voting.
Right.
And that's it. Like I'm listening to an interview with T.I. and Ice-Cube. Ice-Cube seemed like a solid brother, but then when they were talking on the interview, Ice-Cube was talking about basically they was talking about voting and getting America to work on police reform. I was surprised. Ice Cube felt like America was already working on police reform, and now he wants them to start working on other things, which is like giving black people more financial freedom, or giving them more finances to, for small businesses, and for us to have a business, which is good and which is what we need. But it seems like we're just having the same conversation over and over again. It's either voting or, becoming a better servant for the white man.
Right.
Go ahead.
It's Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish.
Right, Judah mourneth. Right now, black people, you are the Jews of the Bible. And right now, we live in the hill. We're mourning. We got black men dying every second. Black women dying every second. Your city is gentrified. You're being kicked out of your home. You're sleeping on the streets. You're being shot innocently on the streets, man. The Americans at war with you at every angle, and you don't know where to fight. But right now, and read on.
They are black unto the ground.
No, read it from the top again.
Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish.
And the gates thereof languish. What is the gates?
Our leaders.
The gates represent our protection.
Right.
Usually when you have a house, right? You got a house, you put a gate around that house for protection. To keep whatever's in, and keep whatever out, keep it out. Imagine, if you had like a backyard or something like that, and you had kids back there, you feel safe because you have a gate. Or so you feel like, they're protected by that one tall gate. That you feel protected, or anything any belongings you have in your yard, you feel like it's protected because it's behind a gate. Our black leaders are supposed to be our gates, but from time and time again, they don't have the answers. They don't know how to protect us, man. They don't have the answers at all. And today we're gonna get into Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington, there's many schools named after Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington is praised all through America. And you're going to see the pattern of black leaders who tell black people to basically submit to the white man. How America praises them, makes monuments and statues of them, names many schools and things after them. And it's a reason why they do that. They're never going to name a school after somebody who's radical.
Right. They're
not going to name a school after Nat Turner, or somebody who rebelled during slavery. They won't name any schools or any scholarship programs after rebellious black people. But if you're a submissive black person, you will get a statue. You will get a school named after you. You will get a scholarship program named after you. You will be praised all through America, man. So let's get into the speech that Booker T. Washington did down in Atlanta in 1895. This was during the time when they fight for equality and trying to figure out what blacks were gonna do in America, because blacks really were trying to run to the north, but Booker T. Washington was convincing black people to stay down in racist South. Go ahead. You can start at the top.
Come on. The Cotton States and International Exposition speech was an address on the topic of race relations given by Booker T. Washington on September 18th, 1895. Mm-hmm. The speech laid the foundation for the Atlanta Compromise, an agreement between African American leaders and Southern white leaders.
There you go. And see, it wasn't an agreement. And once again, it wasn't an agreement between the black people. It was an agreement with black leaders.
Right.
The black people, you are a sheep and you have a shepherd. So usually you might look up to one person or certain people as your leaders. Today you look at mostly black people. Today look at celebrities and certain religious leaders or religious pastors or something like that as their leaders today. So in 1895, black leaders got together with Southern racist white people and they tried to make a compromise. Go ahead.
Come on. The speech laid the foundation for the Atlanta Compromise, an agreement between African American leaders and Southern white leaders, in which Southern blacks would work meekly and submit to white political rule.
Read that again. We'll do what?
Which Southern blacks would work meekly and submit to white political rule.
No, they would work side by side and equal.
Would submit to white political rule.
This Negro here, Booker T. Washington, in 1895, he made a compromise with white leaders and the black leaders. They made a compromise not to be paid equal, not to have equal rights, but he made a compromise that black people will submit. It will work meekly and submit to the white political rule. And Southern whites guaranteed that blacks will receive basic and trade with that. What would they get? What would we do in trade?
Okay. While Southern whites guaranteed that blacks would receive basic education and due process of law.
That's ridiculous, man. That's the best deal that black leaders could chop. That is the best that Uncle Tom could have chalked up at that time, man. That was the best that he could have chalked up, like with all the lynchings and all the lynchings, the dog chasing you through the fields, the raping, the killings, all that. And you say, you know what? Y'all black. He told black people, he said, y'all stay down south. He said, y'all stay down south. What's going to happen is we're going to work and submit to these white people. We're going to be their assistant, their slaves, in exchange for basic education. And what else?
And due process.
That's the best that he thought of, man. That's the best that he can think of. He couldn't think of. He ain't said nothing about reparations. He ain't said nothing about, owning any land, owning some kind of land, owning something, some kind of ownership. The best thing he thought was, we'll work for you. We'll work for you, and instead, don't hire the immigrants that's coming, which is another thing. In 1985, there were immigrants coming in, whether they're Chinese or Latino or, it was immigrants coming from all kinds, from all throughout the world. And white people began to hire them. So to black people, it seemed like these immigrants were coming into America and stealing the jobs. That sound familiar?
Right.
Does that sound familiar? You mean to tell me that black people are having the same argument about Latinos stealing jobs and other immigrants stealing jobs in 2020? That sounds very recent. And we had the same arguments in 1895. So to defeat or try to combat whites from hiring immigrants that were coming in by millions a year, Booker T. Washington made an oath that we will serve the white people. We will submit and work meekly and humbly. We won't argue about or cry about how you've been mistreating us. We won't cry about how you paying us a lower wage. Just hire us. Hire us and we'll work meekly and give us free education. Free basic education, not advanced education. Free basic education. Booker T. Washington was not fit to be a leader, man.
Right.
He was not fit. He was Uncle Tom and he didn't understand. And I damn near, when I was a teenager, I could relate. I remember being a teenager and I could not imagine a world without white people. Or I couldn't imagine black people being a nation on their own, a working, thriving nation on their own. I'm thinking, I need white people. Oh, when I was a teenager, or all of us was kids at some point, for the most part, because we were Christian, we looked for affirmation from white people. We looked for appreciation from the white man. And it just comes through slavery, man.
Right.
And that's the same thing this brother was, this is the same thing Booker T. Washington was doing here. But what he was doing was wrong. Go ahead, Warren.
I just wanted the definition of meekly, in a quiet, gentle, and submissive manner.
Right, meekly. Like Booker T. Washington made a compromise and made a speech and an oath with Southern white people that you will work, where black people will work quietly, humbly. We won't talk back, we won't fight back, we'll do whatever you say, as long as you give us basic education.
Okay.
That is ridiculous, man. Go ahead.
Basic education and due process of law.
And due process of law. We've been begging for justice. We're still begging for justice right now.
Right.
We're begging for the same thing now. All we're begging is for justice. All we're begging is for the right for you to put the right people to lock up racist white cops, to lock up the person that committed crimes against our people. It's the same fight, black man. What we got to do is you should go and read this. You can go read and do more research on this on your own, and you'll see how for hundreds of years we've been going through the same thing, begging for. And the black leaders today ask for better schools.
Right.
You're gonna get better schools and still get shot in the streets, man. Right. You're gonna get better schools and white people are still gonna hate you. You gotta demand a respect. That's what you gotta do. What we gotta do is demand a respect, and we gotta come back to the Most High. Because that's what we gotta know. We gotta know that no man is gonna save us out of this hell unless we come back to the Most High. Voting is not gonna save you. Becoming a better slave is not gonna save you. Working for the white man meekly is not gonna save you. What's the precept in that? Who got a precept for that?
Thou shalt not put someone who's not in your nation above you.
No, the precept for nothing's going to save you but the Most High. Who got a precept for that? Warren?
I'll be right now, sir.
What you thinking?
I'm thinking Lamentations. If not for the Lord's mercy, we would not be here.
Give me you. Give me Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. This is first, before you read that, keep your thumb on that and give me 28 and 15.
It's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15.
Go ahead.
But it shall come to pass that if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So what you got to understand, black man, is that this the reason why we've been fighting the same fight, and it seems like black people will never get justice, black people will never be treated as equal, is because we are under some curses by somebody. Somebody's cursing us, man. We are living in hell. We are being cursed by God. All you have to do is read Deuteronomy 28 and 1. You'll see the reward of following God. And Deuteronomy 28:15 says what?
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
All these, if you do not follow the Most High God, all these curses shall come upon you and take you. Now give me 68. Let's read one of the curses.
Okay.
This is the reason why voting won't save you. You marching down the street is not. You march up and down the street is not going to save you. Boycotting is a hell of an act. I love the boycott because it dries up the white man's pocket. Boycott is very successful, but it's not more successful than coming back to the Most High, who could destroy this kingdom and put you in a ruling seat, man. As a race.
Right.
Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
The Lord's going to bring you to Egypt again with ships. Black people, we already were in slavery in Egypt. Back when Moses and Pharaoh went back and forth. But the Bible here said that you're going to go into slavery again. You're going to go to Egypt. Egypt means bondage. It's an Egyptian word that means bondage, man. They said that we were going to slavery. Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Read from the top again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With ships. What people went to slavery with ships? Black people, man. We went to slavery with ships. And we ended up over here in this hellhole called America. Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Right. We're not going to see our homeland again. The place that we were taken from, when we ran from the Romans, we ran out of Israel, which is our homeland, we're not going to see that no more again. And we haven't seen it no more again. Go ahead. As a people, we haven't seen it. As a whole, we haven't seen it no more again. Go ahead.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
You should be sold who?
Unto your enemies.
Sold unto who?
Your enemies.
You should be sold unto your enemies, man. That's what you don't know, black man. You want, this is the thing that we're going through. We're going through Stockholm syndrome. Warren, give me a definition for that. What we're going through is us being slaves for so long, whereas though we can't really imagine ourselves being a people or being a thriving nation, having our own army, or not being so dependent on the white man. Black man, you could be a nation just like the Africans are a nation, or the Chinese or the Japanese are a nation. You could be a nation just like that, or a kingdom just like that. But it's not going to happen until we come back to the Most High God. Go ahead.
Go on. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
First of all, we were sold into our enemies, man. That's our issue. We don't realize who our enemy is. You gotta realize that you cannot make friends or make amends with your slave master. He's gonna hate you continually. The white man's gonna hate you forever, man. America's gonna hate you forever. You were sold unto your enemies. That's what the Bible says. America is your enemy. So when you get shot when you get shot dead in the streets, when you've been begging for basic education and begging for certain rights for 400 years, and it still hasn't changed, and we still asking for the same thing. The brother Booker T. Washington in 1895 said, "We're going to serve you meekly and quietly in exchange for justice in the court systems and for basic education." And we're asking for the same thing in 2020. That's ridiculous.
Right.
We got to find a new black man. You got to find a new formula. We try, this thing of protesting and trying to, hold hand. I'm not saying shoot and kill a white man either. But us trying to find a way to work with them, us trying to thinking that a black vote is going to matter or going to count. We lost. We're out of our mind if we think that's going to work. It's not going to work because we've been trying it for too long. We've been protesting and asking for justice forever and forever and forever. Black man, you got to do something new. And what we have not done as a whole is say the white man is the devil.
Right.
As a whole, we have not come back to the Most High God. As a whole, we have not said Christ is black. As a whole, we have not said that we're going to put down America's cultures, America's holidays, all America's wicked traditions. We're going to drop it and follow all the holy traditions in the Bible. We have not done that as a whole, and that's why we continue to fail. That's why we continue to ask for justice, basic education, and equal pay for 200 damn years, man. 200 years. Nobody else going to beg for the same thing. The Asians, the Japanese, they don't have to ask for 200 years for any kind of reparations or basic education. They got it. The Jewish community still get reparations from America. Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they got paid off. You got some of that. You got some of that, and some of those Asians here, and they got Chinatown. Everybody's getting reparations, and everybody is benefiting off of your civil rights, except for you, black man.
Good.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Even America is paying reparations to the Jews
And
for what the Germans did to them.
And that the Most High Christ, that's what I was. The brother was saying is totally is right. Like America, you ain't Adolf Hitler. You're not German. But you're paying the Jewish. You give reparations to the Jewish community for what another state, for what another country did, for what the Nazis did, for what Adolf Hitler did. But for sure, you for sure with your own hand lynch black men and rape black women. But there ain't no reparations for that. No reparations, no justice for that. We just gotta take it. That's right. The Most High is gonna deal with you, man.
Right.
Black men and black women are gonna learn. We are learning the hard way. We learning every day that you the devil, man. We're learning every day through your actions. And we trying to find a solution. Trying to find an answer. We say that voting is not. Some of us still talking about voting. Some of us are not. The day is going to come when we're going to realize that all of us as a whole is going to realize, or majority going to realize that voting ain't going to work. Go ahead, you continue. Go ahead and read.
Read from the top.
Go ahead.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Right.
Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
And no man shall buy you is the old English word for meaning no man shall save you. No man shall save you. Voting for a Democrat or Republican is not going to save you, black man.
Right.
It's no man shall save you. Do you not understand that? What they're saying is nothing can save you but coming back to the Most High God. Coming back and following his law, statutes, and commandments. Leaving and, washing yourself of all his filthy traditions, cultures, and the American way, and the filthy way of American life. If you don't do those things, black man, you was gonna it's 2020 right now. The year 3000, your great grands is gonna if Christ is not back, you're gonna be reading about. You're gonna be reading about. I mean, you're still gonna be asking for basic education and justice in the court systems in the next 500, for another 200 years, another 400 years, another 600 years. There's only one way, and that's coming back to the Most High. We're going to find that out. Read, give me 28:1. Deuteronomy 28:1.
Okay. It's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God shall set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Read that again.
That last part, the whole thing.
Read from the top again.
Come on. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high.
One more time. It's a lot.
From the top.
Mm-hmm.
And
so read it a little slow. Go ahead.
Come on. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Stop right there. See? What we got to do is hearken diligently to the voice of the Lord the Most High, the Lord thy God. Meaning what? We gotta come back and we gotta see what the Most High wants from us, black man. We gotta see what the Lord requires of us, what duties He requires of us, what actions God requires of us. And those actions is following His commandments and following His laws. It didn't say if you vote. It didn't say if you do what Booker T. Washington said do. And work meekly. Your grandmother telling you that. Oh, just and your uncles. My uncle told me that before. I remember getting fired from a job because I spoke to the boss because the boss was mistreating the staff. And I spoke up and told her about herself, how she's rude to the staff and how she should not be like that. She should not act like that towards us because we work together. And of course I got fired. I go and tell my uncle, he tell me, you just got to keep your head down. Keep your head down and keep working and don't even worry about it. Because that's what we've been taught. That's what Booker Washington told us to do in his speech in 1985, man, in Atlanta. And it been carried on through your grandmother, through your mothers, through your uncles. When you at work, just be quiet. Be quiet, keep your head down. Don't worry. And the boss is able to do whatever. The manager and the boss is able to fondle you and sexually harass and degrade you, treat you like not a human being, and you're supposed to just shut up and work. Still slaves in 2020, man. Go ahead, read from the top again.
Come on. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
If you follow God, the Most High is going to make you equal. That's what it said?
Set you on high above all the nations of the earth.
It said the Lord is going to set you above all the nations of the earth for you Christians, man. We've been taught in Christianity that we're supposed to be equal. But in the Bible, there's a people that the Lord chose. In the Bible, there's a people that the Most High said, if you follow me, then I will do what?
Set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
I will set you above all nations of the earth, black man. That's what you got to do. What you got to do is, we gotta do it in order. If you want to be set above high, if you tired of the oppression, the police shootings, the mistreatment of America and of these white people, you gotta appease the Most High God.
Right.
That's what we're missing. All you're doing is just you got sore. The bottom of your feet, the soles are sore. Your knees are sore. Your shoulders are sore from carrying those signs. Your voice is hoarse from saying, you know, Black Lives Matter and screaming on the streets. You get what I'm saying? But how long have we been doing that? How long have we been protesting? How long? How long have we been having dogs sicked on us and water hose sprayed on us and pepper spray and tear gas? Today, you know, today is tear gas and all that. In certain places, they will still spray you with water.
Right.
We were doing that back in the 50s and 60s. In 2020, we're doing the same thing. Black men you can just think to yourself and think, I gotta try something different. We gotta do something different, man. Because we're doing the same thing that we did 60 years ago. We're doing the same thing we did 120 years ago. And we're getting no result. We're getting no success. That should tell you that you try to try something different. I mean, it's just like with anything. If you attempting to do something, I don't know, play basketball, you know, to get better, you know, if you keep trying to play basketball and you don't practice and, you know, do those drills and you don't get better, you're gonna have your play is gonna be the same. You're not gonna get better. If you cooking or something like that and you know your dish come out nasty or disgusting or the pot is burning, you know, okay, I shouldn't cook the food at this much high of a heat. I should turn the fire. I should turn the fire down. I should use different ingredients to make the food taste better. I should do different things. You know, everything is trial and error. But we've been doing the same. We've been having the same era of protesting, the same era of trying to meekly be hand in hand with white people. It's just not working. The other nations can see it. The Chinese can see it. The Japanese can see it. The Russians can see it. Black man, you got to see it also. And what you got to know is that the Most High has chosen you. What you got to know is if you follow the Most High God, that you're going to be set above all nations, just like Deuteronomy 28:1 said. But they'll never bring that out in the Christian church. Your pastor is not meant to liberate you. He's not meant to let you know how to get free. He's paid to tell you lies and to keep you a servant. Just like Booker T. Washington did in 1895. And just because America looks at someone as says someone is a historical icon, you got to look at it again. I mean, you got to do research on these icons, especially if America is bigging up a black man. And if America is building a statue of a black man, surely he was not radical. Surely he was not one that stood for his people. Surely he had to be one. He had to be a man who was telling his people how to become a better servant in America. That's how you get praised. The only way a black man is getting praised in America is if you are a good servant.
Right.
That's the only way you're getting praised in America. You still got that page up?
Come on, sir.
Okay, you continue to read.
Come on. The speech presented before a predominantly white audience at the Cotton States and International Exposition in Atlanta, Georgia, has been recognized as one of the most important and influential speeches in American history.
Damn, you hear that? Read that part again. So let me get this straight. Booker T. Washington told black people and told white people down south that we're gonna cut a deal. Black people are gonna work with you if you don't hire the immigrants. We're gonna work for you. We're gonna work for you quietly and meekly. We're gonna submit to you in exchange for justice and free basic education. Read on.
The speech presented before the predominantly white audience at the Cotton States and International Exposition in Atlanta, Georgia, has been recognized.
And that has been recognized. Uncle Tom's speech has been recognized as what?
As one of the most important.
One of the most important
and influential
speeches
in American history.
Well, I'll be damned. Of course, America. Of course, that would be one of the most influential speeches. Just like another influential speech we're going to bring up in a little while. We're going to bring up another one, man. America knows what they're doing. And they do it when we're so young. I remember being a kid and you seeing pictures of Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was another one. He was another one who put his people into a burning house. That's what he said. He's another one who led black people down the wrong path. Because at the end of his speech, integration did nothing for black people, but it did everything for them. But it strengthened. What it did was strengthen the white economy. Integration made white stores, white restaurants. They were still racist, but they just allowed you to come in. They still hated you. They served you a burger and still called you nigger, man.
Right.
That's what they did. They became more rich. And your stores went down. And you lost your stores. And we lost our neighborhoods. It's ridiculous. Go ahead, continue to read.
The speech was preceded by the reading of a dedicatory written by Frank Levy Stanton.
Right. So what we gotta understand. Is we gotta understand is that we gotta find something else. We gotta hold something else to be of importance.
Right.
We've been holding the same. We have been holding voting and trying to work with America. We've been trying to hold that. That has been our go-to when injustice comes up for black people. That has been our go-to. But it's not. That is the wrong way. It's not going to work. That's the wrong way. It's not going to work at all. It's not going to work at all, man. What we got to do is come back. What we got to do, the people who have been hated, the blacks and Latinos, we got to gather together, man.
Right.
We got the people who are undesired. We got to gather together, and what we got to do is follow the Most High's laws and commandments, man. We got to drop America. We got to see who America is. We got to see that the white man is the devil, and his kingdom is going to be destroyed. But the same Uncle Tom method is doing nothing but killing us. It's killing us, it's causing us more pain, and it keeps us in a continual hell. It's a circle. It's just the same thing over and over again. I forgot what the definition was. What's the word for that? Something just keeps repeating over and over. It's the same cycle. Is ridiculous. It should be a little more too.
Come on. Washington began with a call to the blacks, who compose 1/3 of the southern population, to join the world of work.
All right. To join the world of work. This brother came and said, you know what? Come and work for these people, man. Come and work for these white people. That's what we should do. Don't worry about and then if you go in depth into the documentary, you'll see how he wasn't even he was really persuading black people not even to become owners. Don't worry about becoming the owner of a company. Don't worry about becoming the owner of a business. Just work for a white business. Work for a white man. Go ahead.
So like I said, and by the way, in this room, when he's delivering his speech, he's talking to a predominantly white audience.
Right.
And he's calling to black people to join the world of work. Basically, telling the white people, black people are just lazy. And they just need to join the world of work. So he's just slandering them in front of white people, which is shameful.
That's what he's doing, man. The brother Brown was at that point. He's slandering us. He's basically just telling white people what black people are about to do. Listen. Don't worry about hiring the immigrants. What we're gonna do, we're gonna work for you. He's basically what the speech is is a pitch.
Right.
He's trying to pitch a business deal. He's selling off black people as a whole.
Right.
One man sold off millions of black people to southern races. It's ridiculous. We gotta watch what we say and watch our mouths, man. Because one speech can ruin black lives.
Right.
One speech from Booker T. Washington made us slaves in America. We did not, we became more of a servant. And then we were to work for white people quietly. Another speech that ruined black lives is Martin Luther King's speech. It was horrible. And they play it in America is ridiculous because they play it every year. And I remember being a kid in school and how we used to recite that speech like it was something wonderful when we were in school. And I remember at even on like Thanksgiving and Christmas, one of my cousins, like we would recite the Martin Luther King speech in front of our aunts and grandmas on a holiday, and they would say, "Oh, baby, you know the speech." Like the white man no longer have to push the slavery. Even it's so embedded in us that our parents we teach our children to continue to continue being a servant and to recite a Martin Luther King speech. It's ridiculous. And if you don't know it, like if you don't know his speech, you look at it as wrong. I mean,
Right.
they look down on you like you're supposed to know that speech. That speech is very important.
Right.
Go ahead.
I was thinking about the other day. I mean, when we were talking about even in elementary school, in the auditoriums, the songs they'd have us sing, like that "We Shall Overcome" song, or the other one, "Lift Every Voice and Sing." How evil those songs were. When you listen to the words, are how meek they're making you, how subservient. Like, we shall overcome someday. They can't even tell you when, but someday you're gonna overcome.
Right.
And as a child, this is being placed in your head that you should be a servant. You should just wait for one day where God is gonna, make the white man love you. It's just a disgusting song.
It's ridiculous. It's disgusting, man. Well, it's disgusting how the propaganda in America, whereas though you can just take one people, like it's ridiculous because we are for the last 400 years we've been slaves, so we don't know what it is to be a nation. We don't know what it is to have our own army, to be a people. And here we are, but here America is for hundreds of years teaching our children, teaching us to sing songs about overcoming someday, or singing songs about how we're singing songs of us reciting songs, and the songs about us to continue to be a servant and to be submissive to America, to an abusive husband, which is America, man. America abuses black and Latinos, and we're supposed to still serve you. It's ridiculous, man. The water for the I.S.U.P.K. We're gonna teach black people. We're gonna break this cycle, man. We're not gonna continue to sing these songs that don't benefit us.
Right.
We're gonna do things that benefit our nation, man. And the biggest thing to benefit our nation is to come back to the Most High.
Right.
The biggest benefit is to follow His commandments. And we're going to see how much the Lord is going to be with us in our works once we do that. And we're going to conquer. We're going to have a kingdom in America, man. We are going to become a people and become a nation. Was there any more?
Come on.
Go ahead.
He declared that the South was where blacks were given their chance, as opposed to the North.
Right. It's ridiculous. Booker T. Washington in his speech told black. He was selling a pitch to white people and those racist southern whites. He was saying, "Look, we're gonna work for you. Our chance is right here down south. I know you see black people escaping and running to the north for freedom. But I know our chances right here. All you have to do is just allow us to work for you, and in exchange, I mean, what we're gonna do is work for you quietly and submit to you. You're gonna be massive in exchange for free basic education. Teach us how to read. Teach us how to count 1, 2, 3, and ABC, and give us justice in the courts, man. That was such a low deal and a low bid. But that's what we thought of ourselves. We couldn't see ourselves as being above the white man. We thought we need, as a whole, for generations and generations, we teach ourselves and teach our children that we nothing more than servants. That's the thing that we gotta break. We made way more than servants of some stupid nation. And these people are stupid people. You gotta realize something, black man and black woman. You built America. Imagine America without you. Imagine America without your inventions and your smarts. Imagine NASA without black women being the first computers. Imagine America without the black man who created the stoplight. There's so many things black people have created and did for America to help America succeed greater than China, succeed greater than Russia. Black man, you built this nation, man, and you don't need to be a servant under the white man, but you do need to serve the Most High.
Right.
And that's what we're forgetting to do. Go ahead.
Come on. He told the white audience that rather than relying on the immigrant population arriving at the rates of millions of people a year, they should hire some of the nation's 8 million blacks.
Read that again. Instead of relying, read that again.
He told the white audience that rather than relying on the immigrant population arriving at the rate of arriving at the rate of 1 million per year.
Now, does that sound familiar? That sounds very familiar. I just had that argument with my cousins and my uncle about 2 weeks ago. They were, they know that I'm a Hebrew Israelite. My uncle has been down to the camp and seen me speak, so he know what I'm about. So when I come around, sometimes he likes to have a talk about current events or things that's going racial issues that's going on. So we're talking, and the conversation is going good. But then the Latinos come up, and my cousin, who was talking in the conversation, it was 3 men talking, and then when jobs came up, my cousin said, "Oh, I don't want to sound like Trump, or sound like the white people with the wall, but yeah, them people need to go back to they need to go back to Mexico." And then my uncle agrees, and I gotta check them and tell them, look, this is their land. The Latinos and Native Americans were here first. I gotta tell them that they were here first, and they're like, "Oh no, I said they're running," and this is what they said. They said that they count the Mexicans as a heathen, like the Africans or the Japanese or Chinese, because what they said was they come over here, they work, and they send money back home. And us as black people, we don't come here to work and send money back to wherever we come from, because we don't know where we come from. So that was one of the reasons of hating the Latinos, was though they feel like the Latinos are taking jobs, which is not true. Latinos come over here and work. I said they got good work ethic. Oh, don't be fooled by that work ethic. They ain't working that hard. I said I didn't say they working harder than us. Or I said we work together. We build black and Latino, Hispanics and blacks do construction together. We mostly work together on the same jobs because we the same people. We doing the same work.
Right.
And that's what I gotta get black people to see. But the same thing Booker T. Washington is saying in 1895 down in Atlanta is what? What did he say?
Come. He told the white audience, rather than relying on the immigrant population arriving at the rate of 1 million people a year, they should hire some of the nation's 8 million blacks.
This is a pitch, man. This is a pitch. He instead of Booker T. Washington saying, you know what? He's seen that white people have companies, have fields, have businesses, and they need to be worked. And the white man is not going to work his own field. Certain things he's not going to do on his own or can't do on his own. He don't have the ability to do. But what he does know how to do is he knows how to go and capture somebody. He knows how to go hire somebody. So Booker T. Washington said, instead of hiring those immigrants that's coming in at 1 million a year, it's 1 million immigrants coming in America a year. Back in 1895. He said, hire some of the 8 million black people that are already in. This was nothing but a pitch to a white audience. That's what it was. A pitch. And after that, and just for Booker T. Washington selling a pitch and coming with a compromise with racist Southern whites, now he has schools named after him. Now that speech, that compromise was the most important, one of the most influential speeches in America. It was one of the most influential speeches in America because it helped America. Shalom, Kevin, stop. It helped America become stronger in labor.
Right.
It helped America gain a lot of cheap labor from black people, man. That's what it helped. That's why it was so important. And that's what made America. That's what makes America lavish. It makes America so rich and succeed and so strong. Is their labor from black people, man, and Latino people. Imagine America with none of our labor. America would be nothing. It'd be boring, just like Russia. It'd be nothing. With no black entertainment, no black police, no black generals in your armies, no black warriors, no black soldiers in your armies. This place will be nothing, man. Black people set the tone wherever they go. And we for sure have set the tone in America. And we are owed everything in America for doing that. Go ahead, continue.
Okay. He praised blacks' loyalty, fidelity, and love and service to the white population.
He pledged love.
He praised blacks' loyalty, fidelity, and love in service to the white population.
It's ridiculous, man. He praised black people for being slaves, for service and loyalty to the white race. And he got popular statues built after that.
Right.
Of course. It only makes sense. Imagine if you had a kingdom, right? And everybody's trying to go to war with you, or everybody's trying to bring down your kingdom. But here you go. You have a people that you captured in your kingdom that's helping your kingdom. They fight for your kingdom, and they're doing labors in your kingdom, and they build your kingdom up. But sometimes, there's hiccups, and the people might want to rebel. But then you have a person who keeps your captors calm. Of course you're going to build a statue after him. Of course you're going to make him the hero of your kingdom because he's keeping your kingdom alive.
Right.
He's keeping your kingdom strong. And that's what this speech is. Booker T. Washington's speech in 1895 kept the South strong. That's all it did. That's how he became a hero. He became a hero because he said, we're going to work for you quietly. I'm not telling he could have said, listen, we'll work for you. We'll work for you. Just give us some states. Give us some. Let us have ownership. Let us have black ownership over some states in the U.S. He didn't even. He. It was so many things. If he wanted to make a deal, he gonna make a big deal. Go ahead.
The U.S. government at that time,
as they were bringing immigrants over to help bolster the U.S., they were giving all these immigrants land. They was just saying, go out there and whatever you claim is yours. If you claim 100 acres, that's yours. All you got to do is just come over here and take it. But they wouldn't offer that to us.
That's ridiculous, man. That's a heavy point. He's saying those immigrants that was coming in at that time in 1985, that America was just freely gave them land, whatever land they claimed, but did not offer us that. It's ridiculous, man. It's so many different. You got Jewish communities, you got East Indian, you got Ethiopian communities. You got certain communities that are predominantly one race, but it was given to them by America. And what did you have, black men? We got projects given to us, ghettos given to us, and then some of us make it out, become, we earn six figures or become millionaires or something like that, and we move out to go live among our enemies, to go live among white men, which is ridiculous, man. Any more of that, Warren?
Okay. But warned that they could be a great burden on society if oppression continued, stating that the progress of the South was inherently tied to the treatment of blacks and protection of their liberties.
Right. So then he tried to do a warning. He tried to say, well, if you don't allow us to work for us, if you don't give us the free education and the justice in the courts, then possibly we could rebel and it could get bad. Which that's what we should have just did. Should have just rebelled and went on and go work for your damn self. Go make your own. Go do your own thing. And once again, that was 1895. But some years later, in 1921 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, you got black people who work for themselves.
Right.
You got black people who build what they call Little Africa, and it should have been Little Israel.
Right.
But they call it Little Africa because they ignorantly think all black people or people of dark complexion are African now. But in 1921 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, there were 30 blocks of black people who were black lawyers, doctors, millionaires. They were doing a damn thing. And white people did not like that. They were jealous of that. And they came and destroyed that land. They destroyed Tulsa, Oklahoma. They threw down bombs and all types of things, man. Set that town on fire. Or set that city on fire, man. Once again, you can, just like how Tulsa, Oklahoma was, you can thrive, but it's something else that you need for protection. That protection will come from the Most High Christ, man. The Most High Christ. That protection will come from the Most High once you come back to His laws. Go ahead.
Okay, that's it on that.
That's it.
Okay.
Let's get another speech. Let's get another overtime. Let's get Martin Luther King's speech. Give me and then you pull Isaiah 56 and 10.
Oh, okay.
I have a dream speech, sir.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Isaiah chapter 56, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs.
His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. A watchman is somebody who's in a tower in a tall tower, and they're watching for trouble. And it's supposed to warn the people when trouble is coming to the village or trouble is coming to the town. That is supposed to be the job of every black leader. But what they do is they see the enemy coming, and they just, well, sometimes they don't even see the enemy coming. What they do is just gather us up and just hand us all off to the enemy. And the enemy doesn't even have to do much fighting. The enemy just has to offer that leader some money or something, free education and justice, and that's a good enough deal for that black leader. Our black leaders are selfish and benefit, and they only care about the benefit of their own. They don't care about the benefit of the black and Latinos. Go ahead.
Khan. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark.
Right, they dumb dogs, man. They all dumb dogs. Booker T. Washington was a dumb dog. Like for him to pitch a deal to a white crowd and tell them what black people are going to do to offer us up. Who the hell is he? He's a dumb dog. He didn't know, he didn't know any better, man. He thought that was the best thing for black people, which was, okay, we need money, we need work. There's 1 million immigrants coming each year. They're going to take all the jobs. Him not realizing how essential black people is to the land. Because anywhere that we at and we do labor, that land is going to increase. That land is going to be successful. All he had to know that the black and Latinos are the salt of the earth. And if he knew that, he would have known that we don't need the white man. Let him hire those immigrants. The immigrants are going to faint, or the immigrants are going to do a half job, and that would have been his problem, a problem that he had to deal with. And we would have just lived amongst ourselves, and we could have made thousands of little Tulsa, Oklahomas everywhere.
Right.
Where you at?
Psalm 10.
Go ahead.
Sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber.
Right. Loving to slumber, man. You're not aware. Our black leaders are dumb dogs. They don't bark. You get a dog, and you have a dog for protection also. Your dog might be in your house. The dog hits something. What do? You go and bark. The dog is in the dog that you keep outside. Anybody that's trying to break in, he's gonna bark. He's gonna attack the robber or the thief, or anybody who's trying to intrude your property. These dumb dogs, our black leaders, they give us to the intruder. They give us over to the enemy for a price. These are dumb dogs, man. Booker T. Washington was a dumb dog. Martin Luther King is a dumb dog. I.S.U.P.K, Jesse Jackson, T.D. Jakes, all your Christian leaders are dumb dogs that give us over to the enemy, to the white man on a plate. They give us over to them on a plate and they eat us, man. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Yea, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way.
Right, they all look to their own way. Who the hell told Booker T. Washington to go down and say and think that was the way for black people, and think that was the best thing for black people was for us to work quietly under you in exchange for some free education? How cheap did he sell us? He sold us cheap, man. It's ridiculous. Go ahead.
Khan. Everyone for his gain from his quarter.
Right. Everyone is for his gain. Martin Luther King for his game. Martin Luther King had so much lust for white women, so much lust that he had to see it. He had to see it done. He wasn't going to be satisfied until he was going to be able to be swimming in the pool with white people, white women, swimming in the pool with them, hanging in a hotel with them, having sex with them. He wasn't going to be satisfied until he was able to get off his personal lust. But his personal lust caused sorrow and poverty and destruction to millions. One lust can destroy millions. It's ridiculous, man. That's why it's so important that we watch our mouths. That's why it's so important that we watch who we choose to be our leaders. And the person that we elect as our leader, and choose to be our leader, we got to make sure that he has some standards and he's, standing for something, that he's solid, man. Not some guy who's going to sell us short and then we end up losing everything. Like Martin Luther King, we lost everything. Booker T. Washington, what did we gain? Nothing. What did the white man have to gain? Everything. The white man giving us free education and trying to give us justice in the court, oh, that's nothing for him. But for us to work for him and to serve his companies, for us to clean his house, be his butler, for us to tend to his land, till his ground, harvest and all that. Woo! Oh yeah, I can give you free education if you're gonna make my crops grow. I can give you free education if you're gonna if your wife is gonna give suckle to my kids. Hell yeah, I can teach you 1, 2, 3s and ABCs easily. It's a hell of a deal. It's a hell of a benefit for one side, and the other side not so much. Oh yeah, go ahead.
And what you're saying is heavy, because with that education, they can teach the younger generation to be subservient even easier.
And you're damn right. That's a heavy point that you're bringing out, and that's exactly what they did. Because when I went to school, you learn white history. You learn about the Boston Massacre and the red coats, and you learn about slavery. But then you turn around and learn about Martin Luther King and his fight. And his fight and his civil rights, it sounds so beautiful. Oh, now we have the right to vote. We fought for the right to vote. Martin Luther King went down to the place down in D.C. What is that? The place with the water.
The reflection pool.
Went to the reflection pool and filled it up with millions of people. Millions of people, and one man stood and put his hand out and said, "I have a dream," or did a speech, and it influenced, and all the millions heard what he had to say. You got to understand the propaganda and the witchcraft behind it. Like, there's a such thing as bad influence also. There's a such thing as a celebrity can influence your children to, wear the opposite sex clothes. Is it good? No. A person, that's what happens. Martin Luther King, what he did was he influenced us he negatively influenced the black community and the black economy, man. His speech of integration, we took a big loss. We took a huge loss, and the opposite, the opposition, who was a white man, he gained everything.
Right.
Who got the dream speech?
I have the report concerning Wikipedia. I Have a Dream is a public speech that was delivered by American civil rights activist Martin Luther King Jr. during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom on August 28, 1963, in which he called for a civil and economic rights and an end to racism in the United States.
Right, and then because in the beginning, what we got to know is that the fight was just for equal pay. That's it. This thing, once again, was for equal pay. I'm already at a company working for a white company, but this white man is getting paid $16 an hour. I'm only getting paid $5-6 an hour, but we're doing the same work. Or I'm working harder than him. No, that's not right. So that's what people were doing. They were saying that that was not right. So that in the beginning, that's what we were fighting for, equal pay, things like that, like things like equality. Martin Luther King come and say, join hand in hand. Little white girls, little white boys, join hand in hand. When the Bible clearly says you were sold to your enemies, and that's what we gotta know. We gotta know that we were sold to our enemies in America, man. Like it's screaming through their actions. A black man getting shot innocently for nothing on the street. You being mistreated because of the color of your skin. Like, it's something strange going on in the world where the one people are being mistreated for nothing. The one people are being, discriminated against for the color of their skin. Something strange is going on that has to be addressed. What's strange is that, black man, you are the children of Israel. That's what's strange. What you gotta do is that what's strange is you are hated by this man. Give me Ezekiel 35:5. You gotta understand the heart and the soul of this beast called a white man in America. You gotta understand, black man. Once you understand his mindset, and once you understand the beast that you're working with, you'll know how to move. Right now, we don't know how to move in America. We think voting is going to work. We think, becoming more nice, smiling and saying hello to the white man and smiling at him, and changing our voice and becoming more meek and more submissive is going to work. Make him it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous where one race of people have to search and always perform to gain the acceptance of another race. That is ridiculous, and that's what we do. Black people, we are performers, man. When you go to work, you put on a whole other voice. You go to work, you put on a whole other outfit. You put on a whole other demeanor at work. We are performers, and we are performing to appease our enemy. That is not normal, but it has become very normal in America, man.
Right. And
it has to change. And if it doesn't change, you're going to continue to get shot in the streets, man. Go ahead.
Okay. This is Ezekiel 35:5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword.
Who's that thou? That thou is Esau. The white man has a continual hatred. That's what perpetual means. Perpetual means continual hatred. A continual hatred for us, man. Go ahead.
Okay. By the force of the sword, and in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Right, in the time that our iniquity had an end. Like the Lord put us in slavery, but now you're supposed to be. We things are not all these police shootings, all this gentrification, all this discrimination is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be as bad as it is now. But white man, you don't know how to stop, and you don't know how to stop because you don't have compassion. You don't know how. You are not human. You are an animal, man.
Right.
A complete animal, man. And the Lord is going to tame you. Go ahead. The Lord is going to put you in a cage. Go ahead, man.
Verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Since you didn't hate blood, the Most High is going to listen. You're going to be the Most High to pursue you with blood, black man. I mean, well, white man. Like, it's ridiculous. It's so damn ridiculous that for years we got to beg. We got to come up with a new pitch. That's all it is. It's a pitch. It's like it's a new speech and a new deal on how quiet and good we're gonna be if you just accept us. Just accept us, white man, and we're gonna be good. We're gonna be quiet. We're not gonna be criminals. We're gonna go to your jobs and work very hard and very well, and your company is gonna become rich. You become rich. See it?
I said, and we're gonna do it meekly.
And we're gonna do it meekly, man. We're gonna be meekly. It's ridiculous. If you can try to fathom like us, just people that came to America as slaves, and us trying to find our way in this world in 400 years. There's the people that came over here who forgot their language, who had their names, languages, and traditions taken from them and beaten out of them. And now, for 400 years, we don't know what it looks like to have an army. We don't know what it looks like to be a nation. We don't know what it looks like to be, a people. And for 400 years, we tried different things. We try to, and the things that do work, or the things that are self-sufficient, that's when the white man goes to war with us.
Right.
Like the things that are self-sufficient, like Black Wall Street, and different places like Harlem and other places that did things like that, whereas though we would come up with our own business, but then somehow now it got burnt down or got destroyed. Nick Cannon goes on TV, goes online and says that Black people are the true Jews, and now they most definitely going to take that down and destroy that. When you do something, when you say something like that, it sends shockwaves. Like they're going to broadcast you saying no justice, no police, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. That's all fine and dandy. You can do that because we've been doing that for 60 years. That's okay with them. But if you go on TV or on a big platform like Nick Cannon's, or if you're a football player, if you're very popular, and you say the truth, which is something that would destroy their kingdom, if you say that Black people are the true Jews, they're gonna do everything in their power to shut you up and punish you. And that's what Nick Cannon had to learn. That's what Deshaun Jackson had to learn. They had to learn that they are shut down. They are shamed. But look at the people who aren't shamed. They get schools named after them, like Booker T. Washington. Somebody who made a deal who made a deal to serve the white man.
Right.
You'll get a memorial after you like Martin Luther King. You get a statue built after you like Martin Luther King. Somebody who, once again, show Black people how to integrate with white people. And racism did not end. They still hated us. All it did was integrate the Black money into the white pocket. That's it. The white pocket, the white economy grew so much stronger. Imagine today if restaurants and Walmarts and certain gas stations and stores and restaurants and clothing stores and brands. Imagine if Nike was racist. If Nike said no blacks, Nike would not be $1 billion company. If Gucci and Louis Vuitton and all that, and when they said whites only, and they have, some of them have,
right.
But somehow they changed their mind. Like Polo said no blacks. He said something about Black people, but then all of a sudden now he has Black models. And when you go to Macy's, you'll see a Black model rocking a polo shirt. Not a mannequin, but a picture of a Black man wearing polo. because he knows how influential black people are. Go ahead.
Nike wouldn't be Nike if it wasn't specifically for black athletes.
Right. I'm saying,
that's the whole reason why they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Right. And when I went to school for business, I learned about Nike. Nike started off with with two white men. One white man. What he did was he had running shoes. He first started selling ASICs. ASIC is a Chinese or Japanese shoe. He went over to Japan or China, made a business deal with the Asians, and he got some ASICs. He came with it. So what he would do is he started off, and this is the thing. And black people, this is how you got to know how to. This is how you got to break out of looking down on black companies that just started off. Because this is how Nike. Listen up. This is how Nike started off. Nike started off with a white man selling shoes at a track meet out of the back of his minivan. I repeat, Nike started with a man selling shoes, a white man selling shoes out of the back of his car. And then what he used to do is he took to make the show when he made that first Nike. What is the first Nike? A Blazer? The first Nike is called the Blazers or something like that. But what he did was he would take to make the sole. He would use a waffle iron to make the sole of the shoe. So he started this white guy. He started selling shoes. This was in Portland. This was in not Portland. This was in Seattle, Washington. That's why the headquarters of Nike is in Washington, because that's where the owner, the guy that who founded Nike, he's from Seattle, Washington. And in Seattle, Washington, he would sell Nikes at a track meet out of the back of his car. And eventually black athletes started to get contracts, started to get money to do commercials and ads and all that. And boom, we got Nike, who is so popular today. Same thing with Adidas and everything else. But imagine if they were still racist and segregated. Nike would not be Nike. Go ahead.
If I could too, so black people put things away and bring them back. I'm gonna give you an example. Recently, I see Fila is back.
Right, yeah, Fila's back.
They were gone for a while. Black people stopped wearing them and they were done. The minute black people start wearing them again, get back and popping and making noise again. So it's like we even decide what comes and goes.
Right, and I for sure remember that being a kid. Fila most definitely was popular in the '90s, in the early 90s.
Right.
I remember Fila. I remember me having some Fila. I remember my parents having it, and then it, like the brother saying, it went away. But I started seeing Fila started coming back during like 2009, 2010 for us, because when we were when kids around about were like in high school. The high school kids that were in high school 2009, 2010 started to wear Fila again. And they started to sell it again in stores. The kids started to wear it. Go ahead.
And the reason Fila went away is because their main athlete, Grant Hill, got injured. Grant Hill got injured, and then he got out of the NBA, and they took the dip. So that's why, because they was neck and neck with anybody, because he was such a big star.
You hear that? One black, ridiculous. The same thing with Captain Chucky bringing up about LeBron. One black man, Grant Hill, made it popular, and that's what it is. Because black people are sheep. We see our brother rocking something. If it's fly, oh yeah, we're gonna rock it.
Right.
We see Grant Hill rocking Fila. All the black people was rocking it in the hood.
Right.
You went in the hood, everybody was rocking Fila. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. Okay. Grant Hill leaves and get injured. Now it plunges. Let's see black men leave Nike, leave Adidas, and make their own brand, their own shoe line, their own clothing, athletic clothing line. You are the batteries and the engines and the motors to all to America and all these white companies, black man. Don't these black leaders are selling us short? Talking about voting, talking about working meekly with a white company. You are the company because when you leave, it plunges. The only leader at this time, black man, is a black man named Commander YAHANNA. On a black man named Jesus Christ. That's the only leader that you have, man. You got to come back to the Most High God and follow the law. The leaders you got today is the I.S.U.P.K. Those are the only brothers that's going to show you how to move in America and how not to get caught up in America's traps and America's lies. And you're going to learn how to move in America and dodge the snares and the traps of their lies. Did anybody hold anything? Oh, you had the dream speech. Go ahead.
Okay. Delivered to over 250,000 civil rights supporters from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C.
It was the Lincoln Memorial, where the reflecting pool is. The Lincoln Memorial, that's where, he had a speech with how many people?
250,000 civil rights supporters from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C.
Right.
The speech was a defining moment of the civil rights movement and amongst the most iconic speeches in American history.
See, there you go again. In 1895, Booker T. Washington pitched a deal and made a speech saying how black people are going to work for them if they get them free education and justice. Another black man, America counts that as one of the most iconic speeches in all American history. All the iconic. Why are all the iconic black men in America black men that tell us to be a servant and to serve America? It's because America will love their kingdom to keep running. That's why. No black man that is, if you're radical, or if you see your oppression and you're speaking on the oppression, and you want to make a true change with the oppression, you won't be champion in America, man. You will not. And black man, that's what you have to see about the I.S.U.P.K. Like, we're known all through the earth, and the Israelites, they try to make fun or whatever, or some of them, for the most part, they're not going to champion us, because to champion the I.S.U.P.K, to champion the truth, to champion black people being the true Jews, means to the beginning of the destruction of America, man. These black leaders are the continual of your hell. That's all they are. They are people who will influence you to continue to go through and sing and hold hands and go through another 100 years of your slavery. That's it. Let me see, where you at?
Ezekiel 35:5.
Give me who's the 2 Thessalonians? Go ahead, continue to read them, Warren.
Okay. Beginning with the reference to the Emancipation Proclamation, which declared millions of slaves free in 1863, King said, 100 years later, the Negro is still not free.
Right. And he said 100 years later, after the Emancipation Declaration, 100 years later, you're still not free. But what did he do? He thought integrating was going to make you free? No, it was not. It seems so beautiful. It seems like a beautiful plan. Like, you know what? Why the hell we just don't get along? And that seems so simple and so beautiful. But for some reason, for hundreds of years, we just can't. For some reason, black people will continue to try to be just black people just want peace. and justice and just want to be let alone and build and succeed as a nation, man. That's it. Black people have never, as a whole, talked about going to war with America, going to war with this person, going to war with that person. Black people are just trying to, for years, hundreds of years, trying to survive. And and America doesn't understand it. The white man doesn't understand that. To him, you a slave or you his property. He can do whatever he please. Go ahead, huh?
I'm going to skip to some of the good parts, sir.
Mm-hmm.
With a single phrase, Martin Luther King joined Jefferson and Lincoln in the rank of men who shaped modern America.
Say that again?
With a single phrase.
With a single phrase, man. This is how much black men need to watch their mouth when they're in a position when they have such a powerful platform or or so much influence. You have to be cautious about what you say, because you can say the wrong thing. And what Martin Luther King did was say the wrong thing, but in one phrase, he became what?
Martin Luther King Jr. joined Jefferson and Lincoln.
He joined Jefferson and Lincoln. Jefferson and Lincoln are what? The founding fathers of America. And you know what? Now Martin Luther King is one of the founding fathers of America. Why? Because he helped the slaves. He helped black people stay submissive to continue America's reign. America continued to reign because their slaves continued to work and continued to labor. And now there was no segregation. There was no black community. I mean, there was no black business. Black business was going down, was plunging. Black business was going down. White business is going up. That's why I brought out the example of what if Nike was still segregated? What if Louis Vuitton and Walmart and all the places that we go to, what if they were still segregated? They would not be as rich as they think. Because black people are the biggest consumers. And we're the most influential. And people got Jordan because of Michael Jordan. People read Jordans because of Michael Jordan. People wear Nikes because of black hip hop artists and black celebrities and black athletes. Drake got his own Jordan. Drake not an athlete, but he got his own Jordan. He got a deal with Nike. He just came out with a video 2 weeks ago at the Nike's headquarters.
Right.
Did a whole music video, but it's a whole it's a whole commercial, Nike commercial. Do it.
So Jay-Z has a shoe deal, and J. Cole has a shoe deal. They ain't athletes.
Right, man. But because they're influential. Go ahead.
But almost any industry you go to, even the liquor industry, if you want to get your liquor popping, you got to put a black face on there. I've even seen, you could go down to chips, like potato chips. Like Future has his face on potato chips because they know that once people see that, they want to buy it.
Yeah, man. It's like, it's ridiculous. Like, you gotta understand all that. If P. Diddy wasn't on Ciroc, will black people be drinking Ciroc? Not really. No. Martell, they put Quavo on Martell. The reason we drink Martell is because Hennessy at one time last year, for some strange reason, all the shipments stopped for Hennessy, and then we started drinking Martell until Hennessy came back. But now they had put Quavo from the Migos, put his face on Martell, got him doing ads for Martell. It's so many different liquors that they got our face on. So many different things that got our face on because we are that influential, man. It's ridiculous. But then when we are mistreated, then there's no answer. The answer is we gotta get a better leader. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do have to get a better leader, but no American leader is gonna help. America's goal is to keep America running. In order for America to keep it running, they're going to need laborers. They're going to need slaves. They're not going to have. They don't need people to be yelling Black Lives Matter. They don't have any time for boycotts. They don't have any time for people who will oppose them, to be in the opposition of their goals and their goals. They don't need it. That's why everybody else is shut down. But if you are with the American goal, then you're going to be uplifted, praised, and you're going to be given a position of power. It makes all the right sense to do it. If you want to keep your kingdom running, and you got some people, you're gonna hire and give praise to every person that wants to keep your kingdom running, or every person that will influence anybody that wants to do a riot or rebel or have a revolution or to rebel. You're gonna champion that person who can sway the hearts of the people and make them relax and calm down and to, accept and forgive the evil kingdom or the evil ruler. It's ridiculous. Any more?
Yeah, I was gonna read. With a single phrase, Martin Luther King Jr. joined Jefferson and Lincoln in the ranks of men who shaped modern America.
So basically, they should put Martin Luther King's face on Mount Rushmore. That basically means Jefferson and Lincoln, they faces on there, right? It basically, they might as well put the black faces right up, right? They should put Martin Luther King's face right up there because he helped black people. He continued to serve the slave mentality that we had. He continued it. Go ahead.
Come on. And the fact that it said he helped shape modern America, meaning that everything that's happening today was his dream. The dream he had, like, this is it.
Right.
So all the protests they do in the streets, they have to remember that this is what Martin Luther King was dreaming for, and this is the outcome. Because he shaped this.
Damn right, the brother Sanders is right. Like, he helped shape modern America, and that's right. Modern America is mad. When modern black people are mad in 2020, what they do? The same method that Dr. King did, which is march. When in Martin Luther King's time, the most successful thing he ever did was when they boycotted that bus. When they boycotted that bus and they start carpooling for black people, that was his most successful act. And it succeeded to the point where as though it made the bus company say, oh, you know what? You can sit in the front. Come on, sit in the front. Don't even worry about it. They stopped the separation on the bus by not riding a bus. So you know what? All right, we're not gonna ride a bus. And that's how black people gotta do in everything. That's what we have to do in America, period. You see what's going on? Okay. Black people should drop their badges as police officers. The NBA, the NBA did a boycott. I think last week. I was a little happy. They did a boycott. It seemed like the whole NBA may have been with it, as far as like white people too. Like they basically set it up like, okay, we're gonna boycott this day, but then we're gonna continue the next day, which was, and so the thing with the NBA. They were saying that some players were like, you know what, I don't have to play no more. I don't want to play anymore. But then you had young NBA players who just got their first year contract or, felt like it wasn't like as successful as the players who were saying, I don't need this. So they felt like they had to play. They felt like they had to take care of their family. I have to do it. I have to play. When really they don't. You know what I'm saying? You can shut down America. It was so beautiful when they boycotted because everybody. You should have seen how they messed up. They messed up America's money. You should have seen the betting, the
Right.
the betting system, like how much money you had, like you had to get your money back, but how much trouble that was for you bet on the team. No, the team you come to find out the next couple hours, nobody's playing basketball that day anymore. They boycotting. Now you gotta go back to the line, go back to the booth, get your money back, or go back to the machine to get your money back. America was the betting system for the NBA was turned upside down that day. It was crazy. Go ahead.
And these devils were definitely scared because remember a few years ago, LeBron James left Cleveland and bankrupted the city.
That's another thing I wanted to say when you had brought up something. Another thing, yeah. LeBron James when he got there had more attractions, created more jobs, more people were coming in to watch LeBron play. He left, and you said he did what?
And he bankrupted the city. The city went bankrupt. Like that city went into a depression. Hotels were closed. Like jobs were lost. The stadium was closed because there was no attraction. He went back and he revitalized the city, and the city made more money on his return than when his first arrival. So if he could do that to a city, I can imagine if the NBA say they're not playing, what kind of effect it would have on America.
And imagine if the NBA was playing. I mean, they're playing, but imagine the black people who are ticket takers in the arena. Imagine all the black people who are directionals, who direct the people to go sit in that section. Imagine the security, the people that work for the security companies for that arena. Imagine if they don't want to work. It'll flip the arena upside down. Imagine the people who are walking around saying beer and hot dogs and they're the concession stands. Imagine if they don't show up. It'll just be basketball players there, but no white person will get their beer. No white person will get no popcorn. Nobody's going to be there to take their ticket. They just probably be standing outside, or eventually they just walk in, and then it'll be chaos because people are going to sit in the wrong seat, but then there's no security guard or no directional person, no usher to tell you, hey, you're in the wrong seat. You got to deal with it on your own. So somebody can sit in your seat, and what if that person don't want to get up? Ain't nobody there to break up the fight or make them get up. You have to just take the L. It'll be chaos without black people. It'll be ridiculous. It'll be imagine you go to a white person going to a game, white people going to a game, nobody didn't take your tickets, no security, no concessions, nobody working concession stands, no directionals.
And nobody to play.
Then nobody to play.
It wouldn't be in the stadium. It wouldn't be a sport like it is now.
It'd be ridiculous, man. Black people. The point is, black man, we got too much power in America. We the salt of the earth.
Right.
But these black leaders will have us think differently. These black leaders will have us thinking more low of ourselves, so much cheaper of ourselves, man. That's why we got to understand. We got to come to the I.S.U.P.K and understand who your leader, and choose a righteous leader. And know that these brothers are righteous leaders who are going to lead you the right way.
Right.
They're not going to lead you, down the wrong path. Surely we're not going to lead you and sell you cheap and sell you to white people. Because that's all the historic icons in the so-called black activists that molded modern America today. When you read their story, they're popular because they sold black people to white people. That's it. That's why they're so popular. Booker T is popular for selling black people to white people. Martin Luther King is popular for integrating black people to the white economy. Selling black people to white people. That's it. It's ridiculous, man. These black leaders today were dangerous for our lives and cause us a lot of hell and a lot of hell and a lot of sorrow. What we got to do today is find a new leader, find a new formula and a new path if we don't want to repeat the same thing for the next 5,200 years. Well, then we're going to pass the class of priest and officer, requires
Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3, 8 through 10. Means 10th in Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashera. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for the priest. Not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation is a memorial of blowing of trumpets, which is Thursday, September 17th, 2020. You can find this in Leviticus 23, 24 through 25. And we're going to have that at the Baltimore.
Most likely it's going to be the Baltimore school.
Baltimore school, okay. Remind Akim and Akwathian to check on social media such as I.S.U.P.K.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headbands, or scarf. And with that, I say Immigrant, which means to stand. Wapanya Hakudam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer first in Hebrew. Repeat after me. Abanao, Shabbat Shemayim, Kadash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakufka, Taba'ah, Ratazayaka, Hayah, I.S.U.P.K, Ba'aratiza, Kawak, Hayah, Washemayim, Adamnanaw, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalakinaw, Kabawatinaw, Kasalakinaw, Kabawatinaw, Wala'ah, Tabi'ayinaw, Badasaya one, a ball, Hawashayinaw, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Lakab, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wataparith, La'ila Yamim, Aman.
In English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day, our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
We're going to say Hakuk, the power. Repeat after me. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahushai. Abakashah. L'damnanaw. Hakak. Larpa'ah. Ka'makalab. Waka Amarawa. Hakak. Latahar. Hamatazrayim. Hakak. Lahakwin. Hamathian. Hakak. Arakawak. Hatama'ala. Lagarashan. Ba'ashem. Yahushai. Wadaman.
In English, Yahweh.
In
the name of Yahushai. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. Cast them out. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it.
We're going to say blessings. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahushai. Wa Miyakiala. Wa Alahayim. Matazabaya. Alawap Yahanna. Ha Alawapin. Ha Saranyan. Ha Kwatazayamya. Ha Kaya Wahakwathian. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahushai. Wadaman.
In English, Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commander General Yohanna.
Commander General Yohanna.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
Thank
So be it.
So be it.
All right. Pray to bless you. Bless our enemies. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
All things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and
And
curses.
punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against
Thy
us.
prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose.
And shake
The
loose.
treasure.
The treasure.
Of the rich of Israel.
Of the rich of
But
Israel.
refuse to give to the school.
And refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter into thy
To
sanctuary.
enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and
And
curses.
punishment and destruction.
And punishment and
To
destruction.
the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And their nations.
And the nations.
Their drug dealers.
Their drug
The
dealers.
court system.
The court system.
The prison system.
The prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogue and army.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
The Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads.
Skinheads.
Posse Kamatazi.
Posse Comitazi.
The gay movement.
Gay
The
movement.
lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space program.
That's the space program.
Army.
Army.
Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Marines.
Marines.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airwaves.
And the airwaves.
And the cable access channel.
And the cable access channel.
And the radio channels.
And the radio channel.
Convict the spirit
Convict the spirit
of any of thy people
of any of thy people
that seek to stop
that
us
seek to stop
and
us
bring swift destruction
and bring swift destruction
to all the heathen
to all the
that
heathen
stand in the way
that stand in the way
or try to stop
or
us
try to
from
stop us
broadcasting your
from
words
broadcasting your
throughout
word
the planet Earth.
throughout the planet
Let
Earth.
loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues.
Cause them to go to and fro
Cause them to go to and
through
fro
the earth
through the earth
and consume.
and consume.
Let the plagues
And let the plagues
shake the house of the thief
shake the house of the thief
and the murderer.
and the murder.
Let Yahweh Shai,
Let Yahweh Shai.
Michael and Gabriel
Michael and Gabriel
come down with the flying saucers
come down with the flying
and
saucers
punish all the heathen
and punish all the
that
heathen
come up against us
that come up against
as we
us
speak thy word.
as we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all
Cause it to be known by all
that it is the angels that have done
that it is the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media
Cause it to be spread through the media
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause it to shake thy coming.
Cause it shake thy coming.
In the name of Yahweh
In
Shai.
the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it. With that, men of Israel, Sar, we'll give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Madam Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Barakatah,
Yahweh Shem Yahshua B'Gatham.
Yashmatah, class dismissed.